Now we should be recording. Awesome. Hello, this is my first time recording actual audio for an actual video, so that's exciting. I hope the audio isn't too quiet. I've tried testing a bunch of times to try and improve the audio, but hopefully I can fix that in actual editing software, but whatever. So anyway, hi. I was bored, and so I just wanted to make hopefully a quick little video going through my Genshin teams that I have right now, and just kind of how I have them built, how I have the characters in each team built, and the kind of rotation that goes around them. So, without further ado, I guess I'll do that. So the first team I have here is the Mono Geo team. It features Zhongli, Goro, Albedo, and Ito. They're all level 90. You'll see they're all level 90. Zhongli here is sporting the black tassel. Goro is using the Favonius bow. Albedo is using his signature from the event that was last December. I think it was last December. The Cinnabar Spindle. And Ito, I very proudly have him with his Redhorn Stone Thresher, and I got very lucky getting that. I don't know how. So I guess we'll do artifacts next. So Zhongli is wearing his Millilith, four-piece Millilith set. It's really bad. I have an HP timepiece here, but stats are really bad. I guess the energy recharge is okay, but everything else is kind of bad for Zhongli. His goblet's HP. This one's okay. It's got a lot of flat defense, but whatever. And then he's wearing crit damage one just because I had a really hard time finding this artifact set. I just couldn't get pieces at all. So when I got pieces, it's whatever. Honestly, if I could and if I had any will to, I would. I would give him an HP helmet because I don't really care about crit rate or crit damage on Zhongli. I just want HP, and that's kind of it. But he's got his four-piece set. This is probably the best one, and it's got 10 crit rate. I'm proud of that. It's got 32 crit value overall, so that one's not bad. But everything else is pretty mediocre. And his overall stats are this. Um, I guess the only thing I would really want to improve on is, like I said, having that HP like helmet. That way you can have even more HP, because all I care about Zhongli for is his shield. But that's whatever. Um, and Constellations, I got him C1, just because I think it's two pillars is cool. But would I want any more constellations? No. And his talents are 6, 9, and 10. I honestly would do this more if I had the books and if I remembered to do it, but I've wanted to build a lot of different characters so far, and I just keep forgetting it. But I'd honestly crown it. Like, who cares? Goro here, like I said, he's also level 90. He's wearing the Favonius Warbow, and as you notice, he's missing an actual flower because I don't I don't have enough time to get like another flower, so I split it between him and Yunjin. But honestly, from what I've noticed, um, because of his talent, you can have no artifacts on him. He's very easy. You throw the Favonius Warbow on him because he needs his burst to really work well. Throw it on him, give him no artifacts, and he works just fine. I have it just because I'm lucky enough. I have his C6 because I went for C6 Ito, which I have, which I'll show off later. But I have a C6, and I like his C4, which is a little healing. Um, it's not all that noticeable, but I think in the current Abyss cycle they have like the Rift Hounds, they have the Geo Rift Hounds, and so they kind of help with that. They essentially, because Ito's the main one out on the field the entire time, they keep him alive, and that with the Zhongli shield keeps him alive. In his talents, I have crowned both his E and his burst. I don't think you really even need to crown his E. Oh, I mean maybe, but yeah, you don't need to crown his burst. That's what you don't need to do, because all the talent goes into his damage, and he does like no damage. So you crown his E. I crown his burst. Just why not? I like Ito, and I like Goro. um, Next is Albedo. He's also wearing the four-piece Husk. Oh, I forgot to mention. Goro is actually not wearing four-piece Husk now. I give him. I don't use Yunjin all too often anymore, so I might as well give that back to him. So he's wearing the four-piece Husk. Albedo's wearing four-piece Husk, and I'll get it out of the way. Ito's also wearing a four-piece Husk. Yeah, so they all are wearing that just because that's like the like the best geo defense set. And honestly, when I play Yunjin, Yunjin is also wearing four piece husk. It's just good on the geo people. Um, and that's the only really crazy stuff on Albedo. He is sporting the Cinnabar Spindle, like I said earlier. I have him as C2. I've had him C2 since his first banner. I think he's only had two more banners after that. But I've had him C2 since. Um, Maybe one day, if there's like a super dull period and Albedo happens to be out, I might get him C3 because that's applied to his E, or his, in this case, applied to his skill. Um, but honestly, his C2 is just, it's good. It's not bad. You don't need to go any further. You don't even really need constellations for Albedo, but I have them just because I like the dude. And his talents are at 10 and 10. I used to actually have built him. He used to be my quote unquote main DPS when he first came out back at 1.1. I mean, he was one of two 5 stars I had because I lost 50-50 on him the first time to Diluc, but then 10 pulls later I got Albedo. And I never built Diluc really, and I just built Albedo for main DPS. It works out well, but he's much better as a sub DPS. And lastly, I have Ito. Show you, I have him triple crowned because I love my stupid Oni boy. He's C6, and that's kind of it. His stats are pretty good. I definitely could get his crit damage higher, essentially, especially because he scales off crit rate. So, like, it's just, I've gotten pretty bad luck with the rolls. We can actually show you. Like, that's bad. It went a lot into HP and flat attack. And then I think it rolled like twice into crit rate, and then once into HP and one into flat attack. So that one didn't have the best rolls, but crit rate is good because he kind of wants more crit rate. This one's pretty bad. Yeah. It's actually not too bad. It gives some defense, gives some attack. The EM is useless, but it gives some crit damage, though. All's good. This one's not awful. It's still pretty low, but not awful. It's got ER, it's got defense, it's got the crits. That's great. This one also has the crits. It's got the ER. Again, it could be better, but it is what it is. And it's not awful. This team literally destroys an abyss. Like if I'm testing a team and the other team is probably like, hey, it's okay. It's pretty cope though. But this team always does solidly well. It's got great damage, and it's really fun seeing like all these geoparticles around. Um, but essentially, how I play this team is we start off with a Zhongli Holdy to get the shield. We get a Goro E down, which it somehow disappeared. But anyway, and then we throw down an Albedo E, and then we switch back to Goro. We use his burst. Go to Ito, use his burst, throw out the bull, and then we just start swinging. As you can see, because he has C6, so whenever you switch to his burst, he automatically gains stuff. Um, and then when his bull disappears, he gains more stuff as well. So that's why he was able to like do that at all. But yeah, that's essentially that team, and I love it. I like my Geo boys, and they're very strong, and I wouldn't be able to pass the Abyss without them. Again, it's a C6 team, a C6 Goro, C6 Ito, C2 Albedo, and C1 Zhongli, but it's whatever. Alright, let's move on actually to my next team. And so my next team is kind of an Ialta team. I'm not a huge fan of this team, mainly because I haven't farmed enough for Xiangling, and I get it. Xiangling's like one of like the most OP characters in the entire game. Like honestly, I have her barely built, and she does amazing. But it's just like I really only like using characters that I really like, and there's nothing wrong with Xiangling. Like she's a great unit. Her personality's fun. She's just not really my thing. So I haven't really taken the time to invest. But also, the ER set I have horrid luck with. Just the worst luck. So that's why, actually looking at it, she's missing her artifacts because I share him with either Xingqiu or Raiden. So many people use this set, but essentially how I have her built is I have her built. No, you don't even need it. Is that 13 crit rate? Damn. I just noticed that. But she's supposed to be wearing the four piece whatever. I either give her like before I got Raiden, I would use the catch on her, but I also use this. But honestly, I don't use this team too much. But that's what I would run on her. Her talents are 8 and 11, 1, 8, and 11. And she's C6. I've had her C6 because I think she was on Ito's banner. I think, what was it? It was Goro, Barbara, Xiangling? Like, it was some really weird crap on Ito. Just because the only poor star that works with Ito is Goro. Like, really? I guess Bennett, kind of. But Bennett works on, like, everyone. So, it's whatever. Uh, but yeah, I have her C6. She does she does quite well. Um, she's only level 80. Again, I usually only get people that I really like to like level 90, and I use a lot, so she's not there. Next we have Kazuha. Kazuha is another pride and joy of mine. As you can see, I got him a funny thing. So he's level 90. He's got 966 EM. I wanted it over 1,000, but whatever. He does have Freedom Sworn. So the funny thing about Freedom Sworn is I didn't get this till Kazuha's rerun back in 2.8. Um, and the weapon banner was up, and I was bored. I had nothing I really wanted to roll for at the time, and I had a couple wishes, so I was like, hey, I'll wish on the weapon banner. Fuck it. I don't care. And so I did a 10 pull, and I immediately got it. I had no pity on I had no pity on it. Uh, I like didn't have any of the like the gauge. I forget what it's called. I can look actually what it's called. I had none of the epitomized path. Like I didn't have like the two loaded. I just did a single 10 pull and I got it. Again, really lucky. The few times that I have war rolled for the weapon, I've gotten like I haven't had to roll multiple times. But I don't like rolling on it in general, and I don't encourage people to roll on it just because it's really bad. But and honestly, for Kazuha, he's got a really good free to play option in the Iron Sting. It's got pretty good base attack, got good EM. That's all you really need. Uh, and he's wearing four piece Viritus and Venereer. It doesn't have the best. It's rolled, I think, maybe once into EM each time, maybe twice. I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with EM rolls because I'm not. But he's rolling. He's got full EM on all the things he can have full EM on, and he is C6. Now I will say, I got him C6 just because when I first played him, I used to play him as main DPS. I sometimes still do. It's very fun. It's very fun just to play as Kazuha in general. I will say, if you do want to roll for constellations, but you only plan on ever using him as a support, only go to C2 because the C1 decreases like his E's cooldown by 10%, and then whenever you use his ult, his cooldown for his E like reloads, which is very helpful. And then his C2 gives everyone 200 EM and increases, like it gives him 200 EM, but then it gives everyone else whenever they're in the field 200 EM. And this really helps because of like his talents, like his this one, yeah, his A4. But for his talents, obviously 10 10 10, but he's C6, so he has 13 13. Um, but yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, that's my Kazuma. He's my pride and joy. He's also the character I spent the most money on. Yeah, I know I had C6 Ito. C6 Ito costed me only like $50 because I managed to, one, pull him very early each time, but I didn't lose a single 50-50 until his C6, and I lost Kuching, and then I did the 10 pull after that and immediately got him. So Ito was just very, very, very lucky. Kazuha was not. I don't even really remember how much I spent. Should I? I shouldn't. I shouldn't have. um, but the other person on this team, we got Bennett. Bennett's easy. He's got his burst all the way up. He's C6. I got him to C6 before people started saying, "Hey, don't C6 him," and also before I started like watching content, like Genshin content actually, because the only reason I started doing that is I was like, "Hey, I have these characters. How the fuck do I build them?" I'm so confused. I don't even know any mechanics of this game. Again, this was back in like 1.1, and it was like Albedo banner first time, and I had no idea how anything works. So I was just like, C6, I don't even read. C6 sounds great. And honestly, it's fine. Most characters nowadays, they have their own elemental fusion that can't be overridden. So you can use them with most people. You only people you can't really work with is Eula, Ayaka, but again, like in Eula and Ayaka teams, you still don't really use him all too much. I mean, for Eula, maybe, yeah. But Ayaka, you don't really ever use Bennett in general. So, again, or Razor, I guess, but Razor has this weird Burgeon team that I've been seeing now, so it works again on Razor. And then finally we have Ayato. Ayato is C1. Ayato was like random. I was just pulling on Ayato for whatever. I didn't even want him, honestly. But I got him and I was like, I'll try him out. He's pretty cool. I built him. He's fine. He's actually got pretty decent artifacts too. Yeah, look at that. He's pretty much got like the same ratio as my Itho, but I don't care about him, so I. That's only because I have Jade Cutter. When did I get Jade Cutter? Oh, I think it was like the Kokomi banner. After the first time Kokomi came, she had her weapon and the Jade Cutter was on there. And I was like, hey, I'll go for Jade Cutter. And I got Jade Cutter. I get really lucky on the weapon banner. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I only pull on it like every so often. And I'm not actually trying for it like a lot of the time. But that's whatever. So for this team, how I usually play it is we'll throw out. No one has their burst right now. We'll throw out her E. We hold whatever with Kazuha, and then we would normally burst with the E. We'd bring out Bennett, do his E, and then burst, so he gets the energy back. And then we would Ayato burst, and then Ayato skill, and we do it like that. That's pretty much most of it. It seems to work. Oh, I forgot to say like Chongling burst, but you do Chongling burst. So like you would Chongling E, Kazuha Wah, this, then burst, switch back Chongling, use her burst, use his burst, and then bop. And you pick up the chili for the slight attack boost. So yeah, that's this team. I I've been playing this game for 2 years, still don't know the buttons apparently. So next team, the next three are going to be fairly easy, especially these two, just because they're the same thing but slightly different. Right, this is my Tignati team. I got Tignati on my, like, I was rolling for Sinnoh, and I lost 50-50, got Tignari immediately. Fun fact, I have every standard banner character, including Tignati, except for Chi-Chi. I've been playing this game for 2 years, never got a Chi-Chi. Which, honestly, if I got a Chi-Chi, I wouldn't be super upset, but I'd say now, because I like Tignari a lot, if I were to lose 50-50, I would want Tignari, because he's pretty cool. So this team, we don't have to look at Zhongli, because Zhongli was in Ito's team, but we get our first chance at looking at Nahida. So Nahida's level 90, she's got 915 EM. She is using the Mapamare. Honestly, you only really should use the Mapamare as your free-to-play option if she's on field, but she should be using Sacrificial Fragments in the case of being off-field, but I just don't really care. It's got high attack too, and she skills a little off attack and EM. She's a little balanced, so I just keep this on her, honestly. Um, her artifact, she is wearing 4-piece Gilded, and the reason she's wearing 4-piece Gilded is because Tignati is wearing, what is that set even called? Deepwood. Tignati is wearing Deepwood, Nahid is wearing the Gilded, and the reason why Nahid is wearing the Gilded is you look at her EM right now, it's 915. She gets the 150 boost from the from her artifacts from the Gilded, and so then that pushes her over 1,000. So that way, when you burst and whatever. I don't even think you need to burst. I don't. Yeah, no, she just gets the bonus. She has like the full crit rate and her full damage bonus. So that's why I have her on gilded. Also, I haven't been able to find a lot of like EM pieces on her. So artifacts wise, she's wearing EM on all of her things, and yeah, that's my. I have her C1. I wasn't really. Actually, I can't say I wasn't going for a C1. I was. I only wanted. I only had like enough Primo gems because Nahida came after Sinnoh. I only had enough Primo gems to get her C0. But I had her guaranteed because I lost my 50-50 on the last time I tried to roll for Sinnoh. And then I managed to get enough Primo gems between then to get Nahida. And then I got really lucky. Got her early, got her C1. It's pretty good. Her talents are 10, 8, and 5. I would get this to 10. I can get this to 10 if I had more of these, but I have horrid luck with the Scaramouche drops. So those are her skills, and that's my Nahida. I like using her a lot, though. This is my Yai. I love Yai. I waited for Yai for ever. um, like I don't think you guys understand. Like I wailed for Kazuha, and then I barely wailed for Ito, but I didn't even use all my Primo Gems and Wishes on Ito. I just wailed for extra because I wanted extra. I wanted to keep all the ones I had for Yai. um, and so my Yai, she's level 90. She's at 67, 237. It's just because I don't have enough good Electro Goblets, honestly. She used to be like 72, 238, but I've had to like switch it around because I have too many Electro characters and too many Electro Goblets going around. So she has this. It's pretty good. She is obviously using the Widsith. I consider it her best kind of free-to-play option. And honestly, from what I've seen of other people with her signature Kagura's Verity, it's not that much lower. And then if you get the freaking 96% elemental damage boost, it's actually better. Uh, so it's a pretty good weapon, and I have it R5. Yep. Her artifacts. So I used to have her on two-piece electro, two-piece just attack in general. But I had better two-piece attack and other two-piece attack. Like that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Honestly, just for the crit rate because she doesn't have a lot of crit rate. That one's probably my worst piece, but I have a better electro one that's on Sino. That's why. Um, Not awful. Pretty damn. That one's actually really good. But yeah, so that's why in two-piece attack. And I noticed even when they weren't like this crazy because I improved it a bit, um, she did just better with 36% more attack. So, and I have her C3. I had really bad luck with her because I had a lot of wishes left after Ito actually, and I got really bad luck. I lost every 50-50. Actually, no, I got her the first time, and then I lost every 50-50 for constellations. So, if I didn't do that, I could have had her C6. But I like it. Her C1 definitely helps with her energy issues. I will say she has energy issues. Um, but that's my eye. And oh, forgot the talents. Her talents I didn't care, so I wanted to get her 10 10 10. But I got her E and her burst to level 10. So maybe one day I'll get C6 Yai because I love her. I love her personality. She's one of my favorite characters. And then last but not least, we have Tigtari, and he's also a character that I really love, despite the fact that his talents aren't the greatest right now. He's at 868, but I think I might have enough books to like make more to level this, so I might do that. But yeah, I really loved him. His personality grew on me. I wasn't like a huge fan of his design at first, but now I think it's pretty cute. And he just has like one of the best personalities in this game, in my opinion. I love it. It's at C0. I would definitely, like I said earlier, I definitely wouldn't mind if I lost my 50-50 to him. Like I was like, oh no, like if I was ruling for I'll hide them next, which I'm not. But if I was rolling for I'll hide them next, and I'd be like, oh no, I got Tignari, I would have been like, cool. Gets more crit rate on his charge attacks. That's pretty dope. His artifacts, he is, like I said, he's wearing the 4-piece Deepwood. He's got really bad stats. They're not awful. They're 73, 153. They follow the whole, like, 1-2 uh, ratio thing going on. So they're not awful. They're just, like, not the greatest. He's wearing the Skyward Harp. It is my only 5-star bow. And it's not bad. It's a good fallback weapon. If I can't build like a bow DPS character, it's a good fallback thing, and it helps with the crit because it gives crit rate and it gives crit damage. So I definitely wouldn't mind having refinements because then I'd have like what 40% crit damage added. That's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, and he is level 90, of course. So that's this team. I really like this team. How I normally run it is I Zhongli hold E, Naida hold E, get everything. Also, I am playing on PlayStation, yes, so I can't. Oh yeah, I forgot she can read minds. I totally forgot of that. Um, so my thing, this is as fast as it goes. But honestly, I haven't noticed it being too bad. And then we'll switch to Yai, and we use her skill, and she's just not going to attack anything. Oh no, that one is going. Where is it attacking? What? I don't know what it's just attacking over there. It's just attacking the wall. Oh, it's attacking the cat. Wait, is there a cat over there? Oh my god, there is. That's funny. Oh, Yai's E always makes me. Oh, it also killed a bird, so that's interesting. Um, so where was I? I was Yai E, and then I Nahida burst. Also, Nahida has like one of the best burst animations. Then we go Tignari, Tignari E, charge, 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 burst, and repeat. So I think that's a pretty standard Tignari theme. So I like this team. I thought I wasn't going to like his whole charge because his charge with this is really slow, but when you use his E, it's pretty instant. And then his burst is like costs very little. I think it's 40, um, and it just feels really fun to play. It's very snappy. But yeah, that's the end of this team. We only got 2 more teams left, but they're gonna go. This team's gonna go fast because I don't need to explain 2 of the characters. So this team, I have Raiden, my recently obtained Raiden. I just got Raiden actually off of this rerun, which is her second rerun. Yeah, the second rerun. So she's level 90. I have the catch on her, which is like her best free to play option. And God, I hate fishing, and I'm so glad I don't have to do that again. But it's really good. I really like it. I appreciate that it gives her more burst damage and more crit rate on her burst. Speaking of like her stats, they're 62, so with this weapon at R5, it gives 74. That's pretty decent. Crit damage is fairly low, and that's because of my artifact luck. As I mentioned, like at the very beginning when I was talking about Xiangling, the 4-piece emblem set, I have such a hard time. So this one's actually pretty good. This is like one of the better pieces. It's got ER, it's got some good crit rate, it's got some crit damage. Yeah, it's not bad. This one's also pretty good. The defense, also, I think you might have noticed, defense on Raiden. I don't know why she has such high defense. Well, I mean, I do. Her artifacts roll a lot in defense, but like, it's stupid. But anyway, look at this one. That one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. I was really just trying for a lot of crit rate. This one is the best goblet I could get. I'm running attack on her just because the difference on Raiden between attack and electro is like very little. And then also this had higher crit damage. And he has some HP and defense, I guess, so she can survive. She doesn't need to, but whatever. And then also like her helm. Oh god, it's awful. It just got 7 crit damage. It started with 7 crit damage. You can see it rolled all in the HP and flat defense. Like, fuck me, am I right? Here, flower. It's okay. I got some pretty good crit rate rolls, which is what I wanted. So, she's C0. I definitely wouldn't mind getting her C6, but definitely only really need to get her C2, because that's where, like, all her damage is C2. And she is at 10 and 10 for her skill and burst. And then we can skip over to Sinnoh. Sinnoh, oh my god, he had a lot of controversy come out with him, but honestly, I don't care. I think he's fun. My Sinnoh does a fuck ton of damage, but that's because I went all out for Sinnoh. So between like the few pulls I pulled between Yai and whatever, like I threw occasional pulls at the gotcha or whatever, right? But I pretty much saved everything until Sinnoh. Um, so obviously his talents, his skills at 10, his burst is at 10. He's at C4, and I lost my 50-50 quite a few times. I think I lost it 3 times um, for him, so I definitely could have gotten him. No, I lie. I could have gotten in. I lost it twice. I lost it to Kaching once, and I lost it to Tignati. So I could have gotten him C6, but whatever. Maybe I'll eventually get it C6. His C6 is pretty cool, and I've seen it originally, but I would definitely I would think about getting it. Um, his artifacts are actually pretty good. When I was going for him, I actually got 2 really good sets, but I used Thundering Fury on him simply because it has higher crit damage, and then also Thundering Fury is technically his best one. It's a bit more complicated play. I wouldn't say complicated is the right word, but you have to do a bit more to get all the damage out. But I had some pretty good pieces. Like that one, not bad. Could get more correct, but definitely it's got EM, it's got crit, good. Sands. Using a tech sense, I would actually use an EM Sands, but the difference, like Raiden, the difference between her Electro and Attack Goblet, the difference between Sinnoh with an EM Goblet and Attack Goblet, really any difference. This has some EM, it's got some attack, and it's got pretty okay crit damage on it, so can't complain. He's wearing an Electro Goblet. I showed it earlier when I was showing off Yai. Um, and then his crown, it just has a good amount of crit rate on it. Got some EM and attack, so all stats that he likes. I got him his signature weapon. Got it pretty early, and no need for the epitomized path. It's really good staff. It's got Jade Cutter worth of crit rate on it. So that's all I can really say. And obviously, he's level 90. And these are his stats. I think they're pretty damn good. He's definitely, I think, my best built character in terms of he's got pretty good crit rate, got pretty high crit damage. I love my Anubis boy, and I waited for him since he came out. Since the Tevat chapter storyline teaser released, back when the game first came out, and I saw him, I was like, Anubis boy, I want him. So I went out all for him. And last but not least, we have our last team, guys. Um, and we don't need to talk about two. We don't need to talk about Zhongli. Oh, I never even silly me. I didn't even show the kind of rotation I do with this team. This is actually pretty easy. I would actually switch Nahida because how I usually play them is I put the top character who I start first and then whatever, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So obviously Raiden E, then we E, I guess. Nahida, hold E, and then usually from what I noticed, so originally Sino, I'd say both, or whatever, I guess it doesn't really matter. But Sino, the one thing I didn't super like is he had a lot of energy kind of issues because all his damage is behind his burst. So my issue wasn't that his burst didn't do enough damage. I thought his damage was fine, and I thought it was really fun, so I didn't really care. But getting his burst was really fucking difficult. Ito has a similar thing, but Ito has a mono Geo team, so I never noticed it. Whereas Sinnoh now he has a mostly Electro team, so it definitely helped. But then also Raiden with her energy, pretty much just super. I don't notice any of the energy issues now. Um, but anyway, so the rotation Raiden E, Yai E, Nahida, whatever, and then usually just Sinnoh burst and blah 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 blah, do my thing forever. How long things usually die pretty fast. I mean, on all along my YouTube, there's clips of fucking Sinnoh going ham. So And that was without Raiden. Actually, Raiden doesn't help because she only activates burst damage, and his count as like normal attack damage. Um, but it works with like Naida, without her giving EM and shit. Um, but yeah, this is I'd say my favorite team now. I added Raiden. Who did I use before? I think I switched. Either used Zhongli on the team, or I used Xingqiu, or Kazuha. Yeah, I used one of the three, depending on how I wanted to play. Oh, don't kill yourself, Raiden. You're too pretty. Haha. But anyway, yeah, this is definitely my favorite team. If not, it is tied with my Mono Geo team, but it's got a lot of characters. Like it's got Yai, it's got Sinnoh. This one really only has Ito. I mean, I love Zhongli, don't get me wrong, and I love Albedo, don't get me wrong. But like, this one has Yai, and it has Raiden, it has Naida, it has Sinnoh. I mean, it's great. Anyway, this is my last team, and this is a team I just kind of fully kind of figured out, just because I've played with the team building and what I really like with Yoimiya for a while and played with her build, and I finally got it settled on some stuff. But we already went through Zhongli and Bennett, so let's go through Xingqiu. So Xingqiu, level 90. He is wearing Sacrificial Sword. I like Sacrificial on him. Some people play him with Favonius. I honestly like Sacrificial. I find I can more reliably get his burst with this. Plus, he does a pretty good damage with his E, so being able to do it twice, pretty good. He is wearing Four Police Emblem. It's okay. It's not as good as Raiden. It's just alright. He's a sub DPS. He does too much damage anyway. I don't have him C6. I don't even remember. I always say I don't remember what his C6 does. So activating that. Okay, so it gives him more damage, I think? Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll get him because what Lantern Right's coming soon, and they always give you the ability to choose a leave with 4-star at Lantern Right. So, although Yao Yao is coming, so I might get her because I don't really plan on rolling for all of them, so I might get her just to have her as a new character. But otherwise, I get Xingqiu C6. Um, but artifacts. I already went over that. I already went over most things. His talents. He's got 10 here. Technically, it's 7, and he's got 9 here. I would upgrade it if again, he uses the leeway ones, and I always forget. So, Shinko, he does great damage. He never crits. He does great damage, though, and he definitely helps with Yoimiya. It works really well with her. So, Yoimiya, I played with her a lot. I finally decided on her build. So, anyway, she's level 90. She's got actually really decent amount of attack. She's wearing Rust now. So before, I would switch I had her wearing Skyward Harp, and this is her stats. Very solid. But actually, once I got Tignati, I was tired of swapping them because I would play both of them, especially if I was like testing out teams. So I was like, I need a weapon that I finally do whatever. Also, her Rust is only level 80. I forget to do it. Oh, goodness. But yeah, I should have Rest at level 90. But I have it R5, so it increases her normal attack by 80%. And honestly, that makes up for the difference of her not critting a lot of the time, from what I've noticed. So this is her ratio now. But honestly, this very solid 80% increase in normal attack damage kind of makes up for it. Like, I hardly know the difference between Skyward Harp and Rust when I'm playing. Um, I mean, I noticed like it doesn't crit as often, but like when it does crit, the amount of damage, like I think Rust might be slightly higher. um, actually, now that I think about it, when it does crit, I think it is slightly higher. But artifacts, she's got 4-piece Shimanawas. It's pretty decent. She's got 10 crit rate on that. I wish I had crit damage, but whatever. Well, I said before that it wasn't awful, but now that I'm looking at it, it's not great. Yeah, it's not. It's not great actually. That's like the best piece. Huh. I thought it was a lot better than it was. I guess not. But whatever. I mean, it works with her. She does. A lot of people say like Yoimina does. I mean, honestly, Yoimina doesn't do like Hu Tao levels of damage, but she does a lot. Um, so if you don't like using Hu Tao or Hu Tao doesn't interest you and you like Yoimiya, use her. I mean, she's better than Diluc, so it's whatever. She had C0. I wouldn't mind more Yoimiya constellations. I think they would be cool, but I don't need them. But she is at 10 and 10 for her this, and I stupidly got her burst to level 9 because I really like Yoimiya. Um, but I don't use her burst. Her burst is, it sucks. But anyway, so for the final rotation for this team, obviously Zhongli E, Lee Bennett E, and then if I had Bennett Burst, I'd Bennett Burst. And then we Ching Cho E, and then obviously if we hit something, we'd have Ching Cho. So actually, what I do is if I have his burst, I use his burst first, and then I use his two E's. Just because not only through his, like, just base set that makes his E do more damage, and honestly, it does quite a bit of damage. Um, but then also he can gain all his energy back, honestly, from that. And then we simply Yoimiya E, and then we just tappity tap. And you can hear me. You can always, whenever I'm on call with people, they can always hear me play Yoimiya because I'm just spamming the shit out of the attack button. But anyway, so that's my final team. The team I usually go around and do stuff with, um, usually this team. Simply because this is just really easy, and like honestly, that's just really easy to kill pretty much anything. I don't end up using Senna all too much, um, but definitely for Abyss, it's different. And maybe I'll show off the everyone's kind of like Abyss capabilities and stuff like that. But for now, that's all I wanted to do. So I hope you enjoyed.